I would like to share a story with you, a story that you may or may not have heard before. It is the story of Scherezade, and it feels like a very, very timely parable for the times that we are currently in. And the reason for that is that we are approaching the end of patriarchy, the end of 6,000 years of denying the feminine, denying the strengths, the gifts, the validity of the feminine in every expression. So, the story goes that once there was a king, and this king was not an empowered man. He was a tyrant. A tyrant, as opposed to a good leader, is a man who does not own his own shadow. Like Peter Pan, he runs away from taking responsibility from his own unconscious thoughts and actions. So this man, the king, was a tyrant. And it was said that every evening he took another woman and he lay with her, and at dawn he had her killed, he had her beheaded. Now this is symbolic of the unconscious masculine in our patriarchal culture that sleeps with a woman and then kills off any potential for ongoing relationship the next morning. Or the man that denies the feminine within himself, the possibility of opening to feelings of vulnerability and love. So, given enough time, the king slept with every woman available and had her killed. So he said to his vizier one morning, "Bring me another girl." To which his vizier replied, "Sir, you have had them all killed. There are no women left." So the king said, "Well, bring me your daughter." Now this took the vizier back because he'd been a very, very loyal subject, and he had also secretly educated his daughter, which was against the law. So he said, "Look, I can't get my daughter." And the king replied, "Well, either you bring her to me or I will have you killed, and then I will go and retrieve her." So the vizier went to get his daughter, Scherezade, so he could warn her. And he said, "Listen, you're going to have to really pull something special out of the box in order to save your life." Now often this is interpreted as, she was going to have to pull some amazing sexual stunt out of her repertoire in order to really impress the king enough to keep her life. But what it meant was that she had to use another part of her. In other words, for all the other women that had slept with him, sex was not enough, okay? Because ultimately what the king was craving was a woman who could relate to him beyond the physical, okay, who could connect with his soul. So Scherezade came, she was adorned, she lay with the king, and then after she started to tell him a story. And this story was a very wise story. This story was embedded with parable that was instructional for the king to see the error of his ways, as all good stories are. So it was an exciting story that, left the king hanging on every word. And when she finished the story, he wanted more. He was thirsty for soul wisdom, for soul food. So she began a new story. But then the dawn started to break. And she said, "I understand that it is custom. I accept my fate. I'm ready to go and face my death." And the king, of course, wanted to hear more story. So he said, "Okay, listen, I will spare your life on this morning if you come to me tonight and complete the story." And she did. This continued for 1,001 nights. You may know these as the stories of the 1001 Arabian Nights. So, fortunately, every day she was able to go home, research, create new stories that taught new lessons to the king, and bring them back and share them with him. At the end of 1001 Nights, she said, "My lord, I have given you everything that I know. I have shared with you every story that I have. There is nothing more to say." At which point he got down on his knees and he said, "Would you please forgive me for being such a bad king? Your stories have taught me what I was doing wrong so that I could create a new way." And he asked her for her hand in marriage, to which she consented. This story is so important right now. It is so important for women to share what they know intuitively, to speak what they perceive, to share the pain and the sensitivities that have been suppressed and denied and not even understood by their partners. So it is a time of women speaking their truth. It is a time of men who have denied their inner feminine, allowing it out to be seen. The more we honour the feminine, the more that tyrant, Darth Vader, the Dark Father, will transform before our eyes once he has the soul food, the insight as to how he can do it differently. So my Sacred Union books are my gift as Scherezade to heal the unconscious masculine, and I invite each and every one of you to do it in your own way. Thank you.